Go.
Dicks.
Every week, Mike. Every week.
You're
all about
always
dicks.
funny every week.
I mean, why do you think it's every week and not like every 5 minutes with Mike?
It's funny exactly once per week.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our weekly D&D stream. Sorry it's late this week. Unfortunately, Laurie had to go visit relatives.
He's the worst.
I know. My mum made me a fuck ton of flapjack, though, so it's good times.
I'm glad you finished that
Swings and
sentence.
roundabouts.
Also, yeah, flapjack's good. So I'm just going to double check my stream is up and running. I can see that Laurie is live. And I'm live. Good.
I'm live too. I'm important.
You're not on YouTube. You're on the Twitch. I
mean, I'd like to say I'm on
live.
YouTube.
Streaming site.
I'd like to say I'm on
I'm
YouTube.
live. I'm always live.
Oh, come on. What have you done with Stool? Come on, what is this? Who's doing that?
I'm on a different map to you guys, clearly.
Somebody's made him green. That works. Enforce. There we go.
At least you didn't draw him as a penis, because seriously,
Right.
that happens way too often.
Last week, as we left off, our party had carried on towards the Dwagar city of Gracklster, travelling via a deep ravine that they were required to balance along a thin ledge in order to traverse. This unfortunately led to difficulties in an encounter, although actually the encounter itself wasn't that difficult. It was the heavier members of the party falling away from the ledge that was the difficulty. However, they got away with very few, very minimal wounds and carried on their journey. The following day, they came across a gas leak within another cavern that led to some long discussion that eventually caused a very impatient Kamar to pick up the weakest member of the party, Stool, and charge through the gas, healing Stool as he went. Upon seeing this, Cobalt was filled with an amount of aggression towards Kamar, seeing Stool as a helpless victim, in this case, being dragged along by Kamar.
I mean, wasn't he?
No, that's fair. Right, that is fair. However,
Wasn't not a victim.
Exiting the cavern, or exiting the gas leak, his fury was halted somewhat when he saw that Stool was arrived on the other side, fully safe and healthy, seemingly thanks to a plan by Kamar, and seemingly grown attached to Kamar, which injured Cobalt even more so when he saw Stool hiding from him behind Kamar, genuinely frightened of the soft Warforged cleric more so than the vengeance-filled paladin.
Fucking charisma rolls, man.
Kamar, he's good with the kids, apparently.
Yeah. Fun at parties.
Unfortunately, one small downside during all this, as the party split up and ran through the cavern bit by bit, the last ones to head in were Renlin and the goblins. However, the goblins, one of them having already stepped in to test the gas and found that he had quite a painful headache from it, refused to enter the gas leak. And so Renlin made a deal that should the goblins wish to meet them on the other end, he would pay them more to see them to Gracklester, and then rush through the gas. Unbeknown to Renlin, the goblins took this as completion of their previous hiring and decided to make good with the 100 gold worth of braces that you gave them?
No, it was a total of 50 gold's worth. There's only two braces.
50 gold.
Point was, it was all
Were they
lost.
50 gold? Okay. But yeah, for a goblin, for two goblins even, that's a lot of money.
Goddamn
And they're
gypsy
quite happy.
gobos.
They're quite happy
They,
can do
they
that.
did say they only wanted like 2 gold, and you were like, "Here, have this."
Yeah.
Massively overpaid.
Tip your waiter, but don't make them a millionaire.
For the record, you shouldn't.
If I'm a
tip
waiter,
waiters.
feel free to make me a millionaire. I'm not sure why I'd be a waiter. I'm a scientist, but who knows? Maybe you get your grub in very odd places. Anyway, so this game, as you all trudged along after the events of the gas, I was about to say gas chamber. That's not no.
Well, okay,
Wow.
no, there's a line there. You just almost crossed it.
Yeah, that's Not okay. After the events of the gas leak, you carried on for the rest of the day. Eventually settling for the night, and even with your pitched watches, nothing occurs.
That's because there were no goblins here this time.
There is no goblins. Be mischievous.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh wait, did we rest? Sorry.
You've just rested now as this night passed through.
Oh boy, I get my stuff back.
I kept my spells back.
The following day, you find yourselves journeying through yet more of the Underdark. This time, descending into an immense cavern, illuminated by various glowing fungi. As far as, well, in quite a strange phrase of words for where you are, as far as the eye can see, as you can quite actually see a very large distance across this cavern. Maybe it's hard to gauge, but maybe 500 feet in each direction as you come into this area. The glowing moss actually lighting up areas. It's still dim and shadowy, but you can see the shapes of jagged stalagmites and stalactites. You can see a wall of stalagmites blocking off one edge of the cavern, it would seem, almost like teeth with stalactites reaching down above them. This cavern, after being in the tunnels as well, you get the feeling of whatever the opposite of claustrophobia is. I forget what the
agoraphobia.
I think that's right.
Yeah, I think it's agoraphobia.
Too much.
You do get a bit of agoraphobia because this is one of the beyond the Dark Lake, which even then was big, but the ceiling was still fairly low down. This one, the ceiling is quite high as well, so you're not used to it after these few weeks. It's a bit of a shock, but you do push through, and it takes you the better part of the day to make your way through this cavern, seemingly with no signs of life, grabbing some of the local fungal wildlife for rations as you go through. Pardon me. And then find a small offshoot cave on the far end of the cavern that you settle in for the night. As you settle in for this night, we discussed this previously. Rendon was the only one that isn't being on watch during nights, isn't it? I believe that was just because Rendon said he preferred not to.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Cool.
Because Rendon's an asshole.
That's fair.
So is Kamar, but he does watches.
Actually,
Yeah, but that's because
He's an asshole, but he's not lazy. That's the difference.
He's got to be watching. He's got like a little girl for a sword.
Wait, what?
Not wrong.
Where's the logic there?
so
He's a church man. He's got preferences.
What?
So
Whoa.
Not okay.
Whoa.
As the night goes on, it happens to be that this is another night where Kamar is on watch. You have the second watch this night, Kamar. You're scheduled in a couple of hours to wake up Cobalt, who is fairly perceptive of the area right anyway, just not as perceptive as he would be were he awake. About half an hour into your watch, you hear a loud a knocking sound seemingly coming from the entrance of the cavern, followed quite quickly by a voice you do not recognize. I knock to make you aware and speak to show my good intentions. May I approach?
Oh, I thought that was going to be a riddle then.
I mean, it still might be.
For what it's
So you're
worth,
saying I don't recognize the voice?
You don't. For what it's worth, I can't really do the voice justice. It's a bit rattly and the S's go on a bit.
Okay.
Oh, it's a snake beast. Okay.
Okay, so can I recognize the
You
kind
are-
of creature the voice
You're
might
still
come
in your
from?
meditation, Phil. You do not. What was that, Mike?
Can I try and decipher what like the type of voice it is, like what kind of creature it'd be coming from?
You can, but considering that all you can hear is the voice, this would be a huge disadvantage, and it'd be a history check.
Interesting. Well,
It's
so
like with them getting rid of all the knowledge, like this would be dungeoneering if that was still a thing. But
alright. Well,
closest
I'm
thing
at
becomes history.
-1, so this is gonna go well. So
That's right.
17 and disadvantage, you say?
Mhm.
Oh, it was going so well.
Ah.
5.
You have no clue what creature this could be.
In that case, I play the odds and I say, "Show yourself, foul beast!" And I stand up and wield my sword and
Hi, I want to be peaceful. Oi, you! Get over here, mate.
As you kind of swing the sword forwards, like, are you bearing in mind that whilst you're on watch, certain people could sleep? I'd assume you'd have the light at its lowest. Are you?
you could assume that. Yes, I would have the light at its lowest.
I was going to say, otherwise people would actively be probably
I know.
speaking to you because they'd be struggling to sleep.
Yep.
So you can, if you want to, lengthen it, and you'd probably be able to catch the entrance in the light.
Sure. Although since it's like daylight, wouldn't it wake everybody up? I mean, actually, when I say it, I don't care. Yeah, I'll do that then. I'll try and illuminate the entrance.
You kind of you point your sword towards the entrance, and it does reach out, and you can see like lifting her arm against the light is a oddly dressed troglodyte, a lizard-like humanoid. For what it's worth, I actually have a picture of her.
Oh, jeez.
Boop. Boop. And boop.
Oh, I did not know that's what troglodytes look like.
Does the rest of the screen have to be
It's
white?
a troglodyte. The behind her was white, so I just made the background white.
God damn it.
So she is clothed in seemingly a scale. Actually, just give me a second. I haven't thought about this, but she's probably wearing armor.
How's everyone doing in chat, by the way?
Yeah, she is wearing
There's a few people there, but no one
a
said hi
green
yet.
scaled dress.
You don't have to,
which
but
is
I just thought I'd have a chat while
tightened,
we were sorting this out.
on her waist by a quite a posh-looking leather belt. Almost looks like it's made of a snake skin, like one long snake skin.
So she skinned her friends for it. Clearly, she is the most vile of creatures. It is the most vile of creatures. We don't assign gender to beasts.
Acclimatizing to the light a little, she lowers her arm and says, I had hoped for diplomatic discussion, not insults from strangers.
Oh, she came to the wrong place.
At this point, the light and noise is enough for Cobalt at the very least to...
Yeah, I was going to say this
wake up.
might wake somebody up.
I'm going to say, based on passive perceptions with disadvantage, DC 5, Anwar,
Yes.
Henlin, Elder.
Anyone without a negative wisdom modifier is going to be
Basically,
A-okay.
yeah.
So you're saying that I would mess it up?
Saying DC 5, yeah.
Oh, wisdom, actually.
Yeah. Well, DC, I would have probably said actually DC 6 is in you need to get higher than 5. So Kamal would still have been screwed had he been the one asleep, but fortunately he's not yet. Everybody is kind of rocked awake by this over the course of the next few minutes. Like, it's not fully instant as you awaken.
I'm
You do
just
start
going
to-
watch.
Like,
I'm not going to move or anything. I'm just going to watch.
who is this? What's going on?
Some vile creature is trying to invade us while we sleep.
Steady.
Does-
I
does she
believe your companion is in error. Had I tried to invade, I would not have knocked. Especially were there not a door to knock on.
Anwar? No, not Anwar.
And what have you come here for?
Kamar, did she knock?
Discussion.
The battle cries of these beasts are unknown to us. Yes, knocking could be something peaceful to you, but to me, it could be an act of war.
Knock, knock, knock. Oh, the dreaded troglodyte!
So she knocked.
Yes, you know.
The human is not the diplomatic one. Perhaps you and I could talk.
Based on my rolls, I disagree.
Mike, I am not diplomatic either, but Renan thinks he is. That's the problem.
She looks over to you like, have you actually got up, or you just kind of rolled over in bed, like on your elbow, like?
Oh, hello.
Like,
No, I'll have
picturing you for some reason.
Yeah,
Just
you want
leaning
drawing
there,
me
like-
here? It's,
I'll have sat up, but upon announcing that you could talk to me, I'll have stood up and sort of dusted myself and sort of,
You
Yes.
are still in your comfier bedding clothing. I would assume, like
Hey
you
there,
don't
do you
fully
want to
have
invade
that,
us while we sleep?
you don't fully have like nightgowns or anything, but you would like take a few of the larger pieces of clothing off just for comfort. So you aren't
You're in your
just for the
pajamas.
image. You aren't fully. You are fully clothed, but you're not in your full outfit, so to
Is he
speak.
basically wearing that?
What?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is literally my dressing gown, so.
That's fair.
Hey, Amber, how's it
She
going?
does look towards you, but there is still a Kamar, like.
And that is a
sword
troglodyte
will,
that you're looking at.
Sword threateningly bared towards her. She looks back at him, then back at Ren and says, "Discussion would be appreciated. However, I will not approach. For right now, I fear for my life."
Oh,
That sounds
okay.
about right.
Right.
I will take a few. I'll basically move forward, but take a step closer to her than Kamar is, and I'll say, "Well, as long as you don't threaten us, we shall not threaten you."
I mean, I feel like the
At
boat
least
has sailed on that
most,
one.
Most of us won't. I'm gonna also step between Kamara and her.
This is this is acceptable. I had hoped to find aid of such within this. Well, upon finding signs of life in the area. Introductions.
What kind of aid?
I had simply hoped to find a safe place to spend the night. I fear that I cannot summon my required magics until I have rested fully.
And what magics would they be?
Teleportation.
By any chance, would you be able to help us get to a place known as Gracklester? These teleportation skills of yours.
I
The
feel
teleportation.
Why
Sorry.
ask for Grackleston if she can
Why not just escape?
teleport?
Yeah.
Why not the surface? We are asking for aid.
Unfortunately, my teleportation is a personal ability. I cannot spread it amongst others. However, I can offer you directions. Gracklester is known to me, although those of your races may find it hard there.
Well, Gracklester is where we've been travelling to for quite some time. However, I believe we can come to some sort of mutual arrangement. If we can keep you safe, if you will give us direction to Gracklester
Of
and
course.
show us the way.
Gracklester, because we were led to believe that was the closest place of safety.
We're
Does this
under.
lady perhaps know anywhere closer?
No, Gracklester is the closest bastion of a non-savage civilization, let us put it. Although you will find it difficult there, you should still have a chance at safety there, at the very least.
What is it you are hiding from?
Hiding from the dangers of the Underdark. Unfortunately, my magical ability has reacted rather chaotically with some of the natural energies of the Underdark.
Wild
And
sorcerer.
in this
got it.
last day, I have found myself where I would prefer not to be.
Can I insight check?
Wild
Can you
sorcery.
what?
Oh,
Can I
most
insight
definitely.
check to see if
Yeah,
she's
go for it.
people or anything?
I feel like I have, considering the situation, I have to do that as well.
That's fair.
Like, is she on the up and up?
That's fair.
That's not a D. 20.
17.
My insight is a whole like proficient
19.
+2. Blah, 20. Nat 20.
Hey!
22. Like, why am I good at social roles?
All right.
doesn't
Was
make
that more also rolling, or are you not that bothered, Matt?
To be perfectly honest, what she said
Somebody-
makes sense. She could have attacked us if she'd wanted to.
Fair enough. In that case, the three of you recognize that she is The hesitation when she speaks is actually seems to be more due to a difficulty to speak. Like she doesn't seem the most. Pardon me. She doesn't seem to be the most charismatic of individuals. Like she
Socially
is.
awkward.
She may have come to the right place after all.
She is. She does come across as socially awkward.
And
that's what
appear to be.
But she doesn't appear to be lying about anything. Or
does it show in her speaking whether or not she's actually very good at speaking Common? Is it quite clear that she actually has another language as her main language?
It seems like she's quite fluent in, and she is speaking in Common, which you actually you trigger somebody new. Like the fact that she approached you and immediately went to Common rather than Undercommon, which is the native language of Underdark creatures, just does suddenly a realization you had of something's a little off there, but or a little not necessarily off there, but strange. You do realize that she is not necessarily hiding something, but she's not throwing everything forward right now.
I lower my
desperation.
I lower my sword slightly, but like not so much like I don't put it away or anything. I just lower it to the point where I can use it if needs be, but I'm no longer threatening her with it. And I say, "Speak plainly. What do you want? What are you hiding? And maybe we'll help you."
I hide nothing. I simply wish to rest so that. God damn it! Every time with this shit. Just looks like nose hairs as opposed to a mustache. I simply wish to rest so that I can regain my ability to teleport to one of my companions. I have dire need to go to them as soon as possible.
With impertinence in my voice, I will say, we cannot simply trust a creature that we've just found out. They just stumbled upon us while we slept. However,
what about Anwar? He's been good to us since we met him.
Quite literally, since he stumbled across you whilst you slept.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good point.
Mind you, I didn't even knock.
Yes, that's the thing. Clearly,
I just sort of stood over you while you slept and started drawing you.
To be fair, technically Renland rung the doorbell, and by doorbell I mean set the gnome on fire. Anyway, Darrow, sorry, not gnome. They're kind of gnomish. That's why I get them mixed up. I think they're a gnomish kin. Anyway,
so
she says,
yeah, go on.
If it,
I did say, however, right before it cut off.
Oh, sorry, carry on then.
Okay, so, however, so long as you don't object to being kept watch over, I'm sure we can help even a creature as you may have worth down here in this vile undergrowth.
I will.
Ever the friend maker, Kamar.
Hey, I roll really good social rolls.
I will happily allow you to keep watch. However, I hope you will allow me the right to draw a few sigils in the ground where I sleep, simply as a defensive measure. Should you prove not to be the protection I hope.
Well, obviously. You, Warlock Man. Name I remember totally.
Actually, just to point out, you actually have no idea whether or not I'm a Warlock or not.
I've seen you do Eldritch Blast.
Well, if you know that that's a Warlock ability, then fair enough, but otherwise I have never told you that.
I'm gonna go with I'm massively racist against all dark things. I know what a Warlock is.
I also feel like it's a cantrip for Warlocks. It's a fairly common thing to know.
For what it's worth as well, the way that you get your spells would not be the same way as a wizard. Like, you draw your spells from a pact, so it is... You've not been able to get away to do this privately, for the most part, as you've been traveling, so it is fairly obvious that you're not a wizard, per se.
In any case, I've seen you do...
a sorcerer, but again, there is a certain...
You've probably seen me with my book as well. Not that you'll know what's in the book, but you might be able to figure it out. I'm just saying, like, if you know I'm a Warlock, then, like, you figured it out, then fair enough. But otherwise, I've not said it.
Word pictures,
I would say that it'd be obvious. Like, Warlocks are common enough that you would recognize
Yeah.
a warlock.
So my point is, I then say, you know these magics, these dark magics that these creatures might perform. You keep watch over her.
Why should I do what you tell me to do? You're on watch, are you not?
However,
Are you saying you're not capable of watching her?
I'm saying that you know more about these dark arts.
I'll make sure she doesn't cast any unwanted spells.
Good. That's pretty much what I was asking.
What is your name? Yeah, there we go. It's like, what is your name?
I don't care myself.
Did she not start this conversation? I'm sure.
No, she hasn't said her name yet.
She says, "Oh, apologies. I had already thought I had introduced myself, and mine must have slipped. My name is Skris. I'm a member of the Society of Brilliance."
Society of Brilliance. What pompous assholes!
Can I knowledge check that?
Have I heard of this?
Make a knowledge history. Laurie at disadvantage.
I guess I'll do it as well.
Hey, 2020.
Yeah, it's
wow,
fine.
2020 vision there.
From the what? Sorry.
Yeah.
History. So everybody except for Anwar gets disadvantage on this.
Oh boy, I can't wait to have.
Yep. What did she say she was from? Sorry, Beanie.
Society of Brilliance.
Society of Brilliance.
Brilliant. I can't wait to have disadvantage on a -1 roll again.
I'm not even rolling.
I mean, 11. It's better than last time.
So Laurie is only getting this because that was. Wait, was that a natural 20 or is that?
No, that's just 20. Wait, hang on. Let me double check this. No, that was double. Wow, that was double natural 20.
Wow. In that case, you only know this because it is a natural 20. Like, you remember a long while ago, hearing a story about a. It was actually, you remember you're in a tavern. It was Bard's Tale. It was almost a comedy of sorts about a group of 5 scholars within the Underdark. The idea of the story being that there were these like scholarly, frail, nerdy types in one of the most hostile regions of the world, and the tale actually went on like each verse of this songified tale had another one of them kind of doing something to get information and then getting themselves killed via it. You actually remember that there was one called Scrick in that tale. It could be, well, it could have been referencing this person with just a Chinese whispers style error, or it could be a relative of hers. You're not sure, but as far as you know, this was just a random tale in a pub, and during the tale, all 5 members of the organization died. So, could just be a huge coincidence.
Well, what was the name of the group she said she was in?
Society of Brilliance.
I have no idea who that is.
Beyond what I just said, you know.
So
of them, what I
they're
just told
scholars, basically.
You know of it. You know of a tale. If the tale is right, they are scholars. However, again, this was a tale you heard in a tavern, like once a few years back.
Yeah, okay.
You don't know how accurate it is.
It's just because she mentioned a group, then she's like, yeah, you've heard of a scholar called Scrick. It's like, the Society?
No, you've heard of her. Again, you heard the name Scrick. She is Skris.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sorry.
It's just because you confused me, because I was like, what's the Society? And you were like, here's a story.
Everything.
Yeah, you know that basically. There's nothing concrete in your mind about it. But you put, that's what you remember when you try and think of the Society of Brilliance.
I'll just go, yes, interesting.
I react pretty much how I react in real life. I, under my breath, mutters, "Pompous swines."
I'll say, very well. I welcome you to our group. However, you will be under watch. I hope you understand this.
One last question before we agree to this. Are you working with the drow? And I'm going to be paying very close attention to her.
2 seconds, actually. Get something.
It's not Scrisso. Scrissers? Oh dear.
She says, no, there are no drow members of our society currently.
Oh, of course. If there
was
were
not my-
drow, then she would want
that-
to attack us straight away.
That was not my question. My question is, are you specifically working with the drow, not your society?
I am working with no drow. If
You're not
that
being
is
sent
specifically what...
to retrieve us or assassinate us, as it were.
Should I have been? I
Should I be
apologize.
assassinating you?
Unfortunately, as you can see, I am not even armed. Unfortunately, I would make a pretty poor kidnapper or assassin.
You say
should I
that.
wish
So
to.
you
A
admit to
skilled
being
caster
magic-
needs no weapon.
I am unfortunately no skilled caster either. My only magical abilities are in my defensive wards. And my
Surprised you didn't just said, fuck it, it's not worth it, and walked off.
Can
You know
I-
what? Fuck this.
Unfortunately, in the Underdark, even the slightest amount of protection is actually worth this, unfortunately.
Can I insight check those last
Go
few
for it.
interactions just to see if she was
Yep, go for it.
19?
You again, she hesitates with her words and stuff, but you get it more as she is struggling to find the right things to say, as
Also,
opposed to she is actively lying to you. Like she legitimately seems to believe what she's saying.
So where is it that you're heading?
I will. Sorry, I should get this page open. I will go. Or I will teleport to wherever my companion. That's wrong. Wherever my companion Grazilex is.
Grazilex.
Rosalax.
Yes.
Gesundheit.
It is an ability. Me and my companions share the ability to teleport within reach of each other. Unfortunately, it takes much energy. And that
How
is
far
why I
can you
require
teleport?
sleep.
Out of curiosity. As teleportation is an ability I also share.
To wherever my companions are.
Interesting. Yes. And then I go back, just lie down and go back to sleep.
But one job. I kick him awake again.
Hey, what do you want?
You have one job.
Yes, and
Watch
that
her.
is...
Watch
Uh,
her to make sure she doesn't.
Are you not
invoke
on
dark arts
watch?
upon us.
Are
Oh
you
my
not on
God,
watch?
I've just had this conversation. Yes, however, I have explained to you. I should not be the smarter of the two of us.
Prefer.
You are on watch. Are you not capable of looking at her and around you?
I
It's
am
not
aware-
difficult.
I am not aware of what magic she says she wishes to cast upon herself. This is dangerous, and you must take more responsibility.
Sorry.
Can I just like thaumaturgy some illusory popcorn, just like
You do this, and remember, you don't know how to eat, so you're kind of popping it in your
hey,
ears.
I
and
can eat.
eating. Can
I
you?
can eat. I just don't need to.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah,
I was
provision.
just sort of go up to Chris. It's like they're usually like this.
To be fair, we're actually not most of the time. Not me and
No?
Renlin.
In fact, we hardly ever talk. Like,
That's fair.
ever.
No, I
She's-
mean,
you can say that, but
I mean, Kamar's usually an asshole, and
Yeah.
Brendan's usually a lazy shit.
an asshole. Yeah, an asshole and a lazy asshole.
Yeah.
It is kind of you to say, little one. I had thought my presence maybe had upset matters. I
Little one.
had hoped to talk to you actually. You are Spurf Neblin. From which city do you hail?
I'm just
Do
trying
you,
to.
do you want to say this honestly? Like I can read it out to you, or I can tell you.
No, this is. I'm actually can't remember if this is the right place. Was it Blingdenstone?
That is correct.
Blingdenstone.
It's blinging in it.
I had thought Blingdenstone lost to war.
We've been reclaiming it slowly.
Oh, it is good to hear. Blingtonstone was always one of my favourite visits whilst I was exploring. And she kind of bows her head to you in a polite manner.
I bow back. So this society of yours, are they all troglodytes?
Oh no, we are all individual. In fact, there is there is myself. There is Grazilax. He is a Lithid. E. He is Darrow. Blurg. He is Orog. And Sloopadoop. He is Kyotoan.
Oh, he dead.
Sloop the.
Yeah, just gonna be like,
Wait, wasn't Sloop
about that last one.
Wait, no, wasn't that the town we were going towards?
That is.
No, that was
Sorry, that was Sloopladoop. This is Sloopy Doop.
Sloopy Doop.
God being
Fucking Kyotoans.
There's a difference.
Fucking
Like,
fish
I'm
people.
gonna call racism. I'm gonna do it. That's
I'm-
racist.
I'm actually gonna just kind of be like, just repeat that last one for me.
Sloopy Doop, the Kyotoan.
Sloopy doop.
Sloopy Doop.
Yeah, it's no,
Not sloop a doop.
It's-
Sloopy doop.
it's no less
Not
dumb the more you
Sloop
say
Adoop,
it.
Not Sloopladoop. Sloopy Doop. He is he's a member of the Kyotoan race. They have strange naming conventions that goes well with their strange vocal patterns.
That is fine. We were recently traveling with one called Sloopadoop.
No, that was the town.
No,
The town was Sloopladoop.
The
was-
person you were with. I can find out.
no, I was about to say Glabagor, but Glabagor was the
I
elf,
can't
wasn't
find
it?
out.
Yeah, the Glabagor was the slime.
It was. Shushar, the Awakened.
Yeah, that was it.
Right.
Yes,
Okay, ignore me.
Wait, no, never mind. I've never met Shushar, actually.
You have not, no.
I've not.
Just feel like, okay.
Also, did she say Illithid?
She did.
She did,
Like,
yeah.
like Mind Flayer Illithid?
Yeah, did I hear that?
That is correct.
Did I hear that?
She was
I
kind
mean,
of saying this. She was kind of saying this, and what I'm saying that Cabal was able to do it
Yeah,
because
I
he wasn't
was
deep in argument like
yeah,
you are.
I'm
So
deep, redundant argument with Rendlin.
I'm gonna say that you didn't notice this, but this is about
That's
as your
fair.
argument's ending. So if she
It's probably
fucks up and
good,
says something
because
bad,
That's probably my trigger warning. My
that's
trigger
fair.
word.
That's fair.
And I would have
This-
murdered her.
This is. I'm intrigued.
As far as I know, with mind flayers, intrigued is not the word you want to be using.
Intrigued? Oh, that means he's got a good brain. Nom.
I'm gonna eat that. Ah, shit.
Now, I'm assuming they all sort of like you, like well, not attacking on first sight.
Oh yes, we are all purveyors of wisdom and diplomacy, as opposed to the savage nature that fills most in these parts.
I'm just gonna kind of turn and glare at Kamar as she says that.
I'm mid-argument.
At this
Yeah.
point, the argument has ended, or at least what you guys said so far has ended. If you want to carry it on, feel free. But
Or has he gotten up to keep a watch over this person yet?
I mean, I'm paying attention, but I'm still lying down.
But what I mean is, are you keeping watch over? Have you agreed to keep watch over this person while they cast magic where we're sleeping?
Is
I'm
that
not
what you're
being-
asking me to do? Because last time
Yes.
you just watch over her, and it's like, but you're
No,
on
Yes.
watch.
She never said-
You specifically agreed to watch her while she cast.
Matt,
the
I've had
magic.
5 hours sleep. Okay, give me a break.
both Laurie and Renlin at this point.
Yeah, probably.
Actually, 3 hours for Renlin.
I'll just say, fine. I'll keep an eye on what magic she casts. If you're like so unknowledged about magic.
Command knows what he doesn't know. Is what I'm saying.
That's fair.
I'm just gonna also just kind of say, like, To be fair, Kamar is of a divine magic.
I'm gonna go with
how?
I haven't actually heard anything of what they're saying is the thing. That's what I'm going with, because I've been too distracted by this argument.
If it'll make you feel any better, I'm knowledgeable in magic. I could keep watch if you wanted me to.
It's not so much keep watch. I'm okay with doing the actual watching part. It's the keeping watch of her specifically.
If you want to make sure she's not casting any untoward magic, I will do that.
Flint is currently snoring away for what it's worth. Like, he was the one person to not wake up.
I'm just gonna like, oh, Flint can do.
Yep.
Why am I not surprised?
I am good with the magic knowledge stuff.
Should you wish it, I can explain what my runes do as I transcribe them.
So now
are they perhaps alarm runes?
I pull out a scroll.
That is exactly what they are.
And a piece of paper.
Well, you're welcome to cast them.
Me. Thank you. Before I do so, I had hoped to share a few words, actually. Upon looking at your group more, you seem...
I'm not okay with this.
You seem
tasty.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Tasty?
A contradiction to the area we are in. You are all, for the most majority of you seem to be of surface races, or at least near surface races. She kind of looks at Flint and Eldif as she says that. However, you, she points at Cobalt, I have never seen one of your kind before. Are you a golem?
Of a sorts.
Interesting. And she actually takes a step forwards at this point, like to move towards you. Is any like assuming that nobody gets annoyed by that? Are you inside this? Sorry, Larry.
No.
I'm just.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading.
I'm just. As she does so, I'm just not in any like threatening manner or anything. I'm just going to kind of lean over to Flint, and just kind of shake him a bit.
Was it? And he kind of looks up and growls, but
I say,
no fight. So
our new friend here is interested in me. Perhaps you would like to explain.
Well, damn right, she should be interested. The boy's my finest work, and he smacks you on the back,
and his hand falls off.
Like quite a strong slap on the back. One you're used to, having been around Flint. All right.
I know he likes bragging, so.
I'm sorry. Who? I think I was asleep. Who's the lady?
She is Chris of the Society of Brilliance.
Oh, good to meet you. And he just kind of falls back and goes back into his dwarven stupor.
He's fallen asleep.
Yes, since I've taken control, apparently I've turned him into a stereotyped dwarf. I apologise, but
wow, what a racist!
My ability.
You've turned him into the one thing he wasn't.
Yeah,
that is actually very fair. I'm bad at taking other people's characters. Like genuinely, people are. That's why I didn't want to give my NPCs over before either. Like it's a difficult thing to do.
I'm just saying by certain logic, it's not his character anymore, so you can do whatever you want with him.
But it still has the personality that it should be based on that Matt created for him. Either way, won't be relevant much longer. Or it may be. I actually don't know. I've not got plans yet. Anyway,
foreshadowing.
Pointless foreshadowing since I don't know what the plans are. Anyway, she does look back and says, "So the dwarven one created you. That's very, very interesting. What?" And she kind of looks at you and kind of starts almost studying you, like you were. She does this for the next few minutes, and then kind of stands up and says, "Okay, I am done. Apologies for the rudeness of this act. Sometimes my curiosity gets the better of me. You are very kind.
Right. You are not the first to examine me.
Oh.
No doubt you won't be the last.
You are definitely a very interesting creature. But yourself and your companions, why are you down here? This seems a strange place. A quest to deal with evil down here, maybe?"
Upon asking this question, Renan kind of noticeably sort of goes, sort of glances away. It's very clear that he certainly doesn't want to answer whatever she just said.
I will just very straightforwardly say, I'm surprised you didn't gather from my questions earlier. We were prisoners of the Drow.
Oh, I had thought maybe you'd been sent down to deal a blow against the Drow. It is.
I fell down a hole and ended up here.
Sorry?
I fell down a hole and this was way up.
Oh.
I do actually kind of go, yes, he is a more recent addition to our party.
I was captured on a holy crusade.
This is not unusual for Drow to take slaves of the of surface beings during their surface raids.
I was slave to no one.
Sorry, to kidnap prisoners, I should say. I meant no offense.
Yeah, you know it.
During your journeys, have you? And she at this point she actually struggles more so than she has before to try and find words. It's like she's trying to be subtle, but she's only heard about how to be subtle in very
in a book,
obscure texts or something like this. This is genuinely the impression she gives off, and she says, "Have you crossed anything strange? Strange even for the Underdark, whilst being down here?"
For the Underdark, I wouldn't say so. As for strange, oh yes. Very much so.
If it is unstrange, if it is just strange for you and not strange for the Underdark, it probably does not.
I have
probably
a
not
question.
what I'm looking to understand. What is this question?
This out of character. This isn't her.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm pretty sure I know what she's meaning.
Right.
But would we consider that strange for the Underdark specifically?
God, yes.
Like obviously,
you
strange.
you don't get demigods appearing in the Underdark that often. It's
That's
not an everyday.
Oh, I was
occurrence.
going to say, I thought Demogorgon was like something that's very rare, but something you would find.
No, it's from a different plane of existence. It has as much chance of appearing above, in Faerun, as it does in the Underdark.
Yeah, but the thing is,
that is very low chance.
You say it's on a different plane of existence. There's plenty of things on different planes of existence that appear on the surface.
This is the equivalent. This a demon lord appearing in the Underdark is the equivalent of a demigod appearing in the Underdark. Not quite the levels of holy shit, Paylor's just appeared in the corridor, but holy shit, Paylor's herald has just appeared in the corridor.
And this is still going to cause a shit ton of damage.
Beanie's been robbed, so just wait a minute.
Yeah. Sorry, now it's my neighbour again.
Stop getting robbed all the time.
You still haven't said, yeah, it's like, it's been robbed. You're like, yeah, it's just my neighbour's like, you're just used to your neighbour robbing you regularly. Okay.
Being robbed by your neighbour?
So, strange stuff has happened here. It's not much that I've come across recently. However, there was an ooze that could talk.
That's pretty strange.
I'm actually going to turn to look at him
bizarre.
Ah, yes, the gelatinous cube, who was actually quite a nice guy.
It's extremely strange, even for the Underdark. I've never known a slime to speak. Did he speak in such ways as Mercury, or was it genuine sentience?
Psychic. He was sentient.
That is extremely. I don't think I've ever heard of such a thing. Sentient slimes are not.
Why are you asking so many questions, creature?
Because I'm interested in hearing about the Society of Brilliance.
We can always talk tomorrow. After all, we could do with some rest.
Spoke to me. I apologise, but I must teleport urgently. I probably should get to bed so I can regain my ability as urgently as possible.
So, just to clarify, I didn't hear the stuff talking about the Mind Flayer, right?
No.
Yeah, okay. That's probably important.
I'm gonna. Can I do one last insight check on it? Just make sure I'm.
Now,
she doesn't.
I would also like to do that, by the way.
I would very much like to meet this Society of Brilliance at some point.
Oh, should you guard me truly during the night, I will offer you a means of which to parley with them. should you meet any of them. They are a friendly group. Should they have need to be.
I would
I'm
like
sure
to
we have
do-
much to learn from
I'd
these people.
appreciate that.
I would like to do an insight check here as well.
So
Go for it.
Or
I got
something.
19 on mine.
Okay.
I'm not rolling great. Blah. 10.
Come on, you're just
Awful.
getting tired of this whole situation. You don't.
Oh, don't say that. When
You
Kamar
don't-
gets tired of a situation, he starts swinging.
It's not a like fury thing. It's just you're
Mhm.
bored. Like you're bored of the talking. It's not really interesting.
Yeah, I
Like,
start
she's just-
swinging.
Man likes to
like-
fight.
For
You
what's,
actually
Cobalt,
starting to swing.
No, yeah, I'm not, but I will be soon.
Cobalt, you realise that
What do you
she
think
is
the countdown's
not,
for?
she's not lying about anything, but she does like she's definitely not offering forward a certain amount of information, and the what she asked of you was very much a targeted question, it would seem.
Right.
And she does seem very interested in the gelatinous cube and seemed to be in thought about it. Like you can see the gears turning in her head.
I
for
kind
about
of-
a minute or so.
I just kind of say, I will answer your question then. What you really meant to ask, that is.
Oh,
You seem trustworthy enough. You don't seem here to harm us.
I do not
Though
believe
I
myself
see
here
no-
to harm.
I see no issue with sharing this information. Even if you were here to harm us, I don't think it would harm to share it, but
At this point, you can kind of like you can see her kind of perking up and getting a bit like she's obviously paying a lot more attention to you. And as this kind of happens, those of you that are within 5 feet of her start to notice a bit of a stench coming from her.
Do I notice this?
Can I knowledge this?
Are you within 5 feet of her? Like she
I
moved
would,
forwards to investigate Cobalt, so I'll let anybody
I-
judge that over there.
I would have to say yes.
In
I
that
would
case,
argue I perhaps don't smell it because I'm probably
Ooh.
not breathing.
that's
I
also
probably
fair.
I probably moved away after talking a little bit because I was intending to sleep
Oh,
a
yeah.
while ago.
Yeah, I went over to him to kick him back
So-
awake, so no.
I'd say
I wouldn't
Anwar is
be.
probably the only one to smell this, assuming that you kind of moved with her while you were talking with her.
Okay.
So yeah, you just notice that as she seems to get, as she gets a bit more intent on Cobalt is saying this, she also starts to smell. It's like it is a very nasty, like rancid smell, like rot or like
Oh, she's
Meat
undead,
veins.
isn't she?
or fresh fertilizer kind of thing.
She just pooped everywhere.
She has not made a mess, so to speak.
She
For what
farted
it's
everywhere.
worth- For what it's worth, I will say that troglodytes are common enough creatures that you do know that, like, and it kind of triggers you now. You do know they are typically a very smelly race. Like, they have active stink glands.
Smelly
that,
smells
they
that
use for
smell
various
smelly.
things.
I will then
Mhm.
tell her of what we saw in Sloop-la-Doop. Sloop-la-Doop.
Yes.
I will then say how we saw the Demogorgon at the town of Sloop-la-Doop summoned by some... I forget
She-
their names.
I don't know.
Cruatoans?
Kyotoans.
Cruatoans.
She looks at you, and you can see her eyes like open wide with horror. She says, "Are you sure you did not get your demon lord mixed up? Was it maybe
It
not?"
had two heads.
So,
It was... To call this thing colossal would be an understatement.
for what it's worth, she does finish this sentence. She obviously doesn't have to get it from a book before she finishes it, but she does say, "Is it not?"
The thing we fought before did have.
There we go. That's
yeah,
what we're
it's
talking about when we say
Again,
Demogorgon.
she didn't have to pick up a book and read through it, so she got this sentence out before you then interrupted her with that. Was it not Yinogu you saw? And then
Yeah,
You
Can
say
I,
it
like
check,
that.
can I just check
Two
that
heads.
first?
You know,
roll history or arcana. Oh no, it'd be a religion check. Sorry.
Haha! I can do religion.
So
I
you
guess
know
I'd
them.
go for that as well.
Ye Ognu.
Do you say it was a religion check?
11.
It is a religion check, yeah.
Oh boy, I'm actually +1 for this.
I'm kind of
-1 and
curious
then
what she's
+2.
talking about.
14.
7. Well, I'm clearly
Oh,
too
bitch.
distracted.
This one.
13?
I actually
13.
have religion.
You know who?
I don't, but I've got a bonus to it.
Anwar and Renlin, you have heard the name before. You know that it belongs to a demon of great power.
Damn it.
You do not know anything more about it.
I know exactly who it is.
For what it's worth, are you then carrying on with what you said? It had two
So
heads.
I'd say I don't know if this Iognu, though this thing had 2 heads, was at least colossal in size.
Are you sure it's Yognu?
It was worshipped as the Kuatoan's great father, the so-called Demagugan.
Limagugan.
Limagugan. Whatever they said it was.
They said Limagugan.
Limagugan.
Could you actually, could you fully describe this thing, this creature in more detail, please? And if you want to, you can just say.
Yeah, I will
Take
do
5.
I will do so, and I will describe it in horrific detail, as it is probably quite literally burnt into my mind.
It very much is. Like, you have nightmares about this thing.
Like
when you
more
get
so than
paid.
the rest of the group, I imagine.
Yes, everybody's had a bit of trouble sleeping since your encounter with that thing. Like, it does just pop up in your dreams every so
It
often.
worries me a little bit, but I got away just fine, so that's all that counts.
It's the one that got away from me.
Oh no, that just the sight of this thing was enough to even scar you. Like, this thing was. It's the equivalent again of seeing a demigod. It's not.
I'll sort of just say after I've described it that just the mere sight of it drove me insane, forced me to go blind with rage, attack those around me, even those I swore to protect.
Who is Inogu?
Inogu is apparently the second demon lord loose within the Underdark. This is worrying.
Who's the first? Just to clarify.
Apparently, you have said you met, and the description you gave matches the Demogorgon, a beast of probably greater power even than Yognu.
And this thing, one of these things, was bad enough. But there's 2 of them down here. Needs to be careful.
Getting out of hand.
And she is, even as you talk this, you don't think she's actually listening to you. She's like deep in thought. And then she kind of, old Perksman says, I'm asleep now. I need to gain my energies urgently. This, even more so than previous. I must get to my companions. I apologize for the inconvenience of the evening. I will set myself up and rest. And she kind of moves to a far corner of the room. And at this point, like, as she moves by, everybody she moves by can actually smell the stink, which has gotten even worse than it did when she got into it. Like, it seems like just looking at her, it might be based on her emotions as to how this stink works. Like, as she's got scared, it's got worse.
Can I knowledge check?
Smell
Is
the fear
that
on
smell
her.
for a particular reason? Is there something she's got on her, or is this that troglodyte?
Again, you're fairly sure it's just troglodyte. Like it, but that said, roll a history check.
15.
15. What you know of troglodytes is that this is a stink gland thing in them that basically they use to gain themselves a advantage in combat or other situations. They don't often care to suppress it, so the fact that she did during this diplomacy makes this a very unique troglodyte for what it's worth. But beyond that, no, it is, as far as you can tell, typical troglodyte.
I'll just say, alright, you cast your alarm ward. I'll make sure that that's all that you cast. Then you can get your rest as the rest of us.
She does, she goes to the corner and she starts writing runes in the ground. Roll an arcane check.
I guess I'll do the
If you're
same.
watching, you can do that.
18.
No, only if you're proficient in Arcana.
Do I
No.
get any bonuses for having alarm on my spell list?
Yes, you gain advantage on this.
I would have thought if you actually have it in your spell list, you would just know that that's what it is.
Not necessarily.
No. Spells can be cast in different ways. There are different minute differences that can be in place.
Oh, excuse me, I just
So,
can't stop
21 and
yawning.
18. Both of you recognise that not only is this rune not the alarm spell, it is completely mundane. It holds no magical properties. However, it's a skilled
Forgery.
It's a skilled forgery, like to a non-knower, like to a non-practicer of the arcane arts. You'd probably just think, "Oh, that is an arcane rune." Like it has all the right kind of signs of being it, but it isn't.
I'd say, hold it right there. That is not the alarm spell. That is not a spell of any kind.
Yep. Okay.
Answer yourself immediately.
Well, you just said the magic words. Righto. Let's pull up my list of things.
I am going to walk over.
She kind of stands, looks up, and a bit of shock on her
I'm
face.
going to walk over. I'm going to lean down, and I'm going to cast the alarm rune, the alarm spell over her rune, and I'm going to walk away.
I'm going to attack her. Just saying.
You're actively just
well, as soon as it was called out as not the alarm rune,
spell.
not the thing that they said they were going to do, this is immediately I wheel sword, charge up to her, grab her
Roll
by
an
the
attack
throat,
roll.
and point sword at her. And
Roll.
shout.
Oh wait, you're pointing sword, but you're actually attacking her.
Not actually attacking. I'm
Okay.
grabbing. I'm trying to choke her out with one hand and hold sword up to her face.
Oh, in that case, roll an athletics check.
Yeah, I can do this.
I will also rush up and try and play diplomat, I guess, just like...
I
Hold
say,
on, allow her time to explain.
I say,
Allow
what?
him time to explain.
Her.
It might
I
not
say,
be the alarm spell, it might be some other protective ward in the meantime.
I shout, and as he's saying, I shout, "What in hell's are you up to?"
Kamar, that wasn't
21.
just a spell.
She got 17. She shrieks as suddenly she is pulled in close by Kamar, his sword up against her as he screams at her. And
What
she
in hell's are you up to?
lets out a horrific stink of her stench.
I'll just be saying back to kobolds like that was no spell. I know that for a fact.
Well,
Kamar.
Anwar actually just said it wasn't even a spell.
Yeah, I just
Kamar
went over and said, Kamar, that
and
wasn't a
Anwar.
spell.
Kamar and Anwar, both from your
Wasn't a
constitution
ward
save.
then.
Con, that's +2. I do not have this as a saving throw.
Good luck.
17.
15.
You're both fine. She is very much scared of this situation, and she does say,
kind of
she does
good,
say, I apologize. I did not mean any. I had hoped to simply. I'd hoped to simply use a small trick to ensure my safety during the night.
You wanted to trick us?
I just say silence, Ren.
I am
You've caused enough trouble here.
I'm very
Oh, let's
noticeably
go.
angered.
No spell.
Because Renland doesn't like
wants
people
to
tricking
ensure
him
her
because he's
safety.
too important for this. So he's very angry. But he's
I'm going
not
to
getting any
activate-
closer because he's noticed the smell coming out.
I'm going to
say,
actively
Anwar
try
has-
and pull Kamar off of her.
Yeah, I'm going to say Anwar has said as much. It was not even magic. She wished to ensure her own safety. Release her.
I'm just saying, if she was trying to ensure her own safety, she's doing a bang-up job. So,
To be fair, she was. The problem was the person who saw her writing gibberish went, "That's not the alarms." It's like,
Hey, I
that's
asked
going
her.
to cause panic.
Yeah, I mean, I asked her what she was going to do, and she said the alarm spell. So I guess it's my
Yeah,
bad
but
that I
the point is-
believed her, and then that's what she didn't do.
Yeah, that's fine and all. But the problem is, it wasn't like she was casting a different spell. She was writing gibberish.
Yeah.
I
You don't
She
trick
wasn't
Renlund.
doing anything harmful. It was
Renland's
just
too important for this. You don't trick
I'm,
Renland.
I'm continuing to hand round what looks like probably a throat.
I'm
And
going to assist
At-
Anwar.
also,
At
did I
this-
press the con save? I didn't actually
At
hear.
this point, yeah, you can actually see that in all the fuss, both Eldif and Flint have also got up. Eldif's kind of stepped back, but Flint does kind of step forward and says, "Better do as the boy says," looking at Kamar, and readying himself as if he's ready to cast
hit
something
me?
as well.
Me or her?
You.
As
Like
in-
he says,
He's
better
basically
back.
saying, listen to
He's
me.
referring to me as the boy.
No, he is.
Oh, there's going to be a fight
he's-
any minute
since
now.
taking control of him, he has only referred to Cabal as his as the boy.
Okay, right.
Okay.
The boy.
Because neither me nor Kamar is the master of context here.
That's fair.
So you know what? I'm actually gonna roll an intelligence roll here,
That's fair.
and if I fail it, like if I get say less lower than 10, then I'm gonna assume that he's talking to her.
Right.
Okay, I understand. I guess I have a grasp of context at this point.
For what it's worth, she does not resist the grapple. However, both Anwar and Cobalt, you guys are resisting the grapple. So I'm going to say one of you rolls athletics at advantage due to the other one helping.
Wait, what? Grapple? What?
We're trying
so-
Are you trying to pull the
Grapple.
right?
Yeah. So Kamar, you need to roll athletics as well to resist this.
Well, I'm just saying,
Iris-
since I grasp the concept of the situation, I'm just gonna let
For
go.
what it's worth,
Alright.
I would say Anwar got there first because he did say he was going to break the grapple first. So
That's fair.
I would
I'm just
say
saying-
I'm assisting Anwar.
I guess you could still do the roll just to see if I let go willingly or if you guys force me off before I get a chance.
Okay, yeah. So Anwar, roll athletics at advantage.
So
okay,
what am I
right,
doing here?
This could only possibly go well.
What am I doing?
It's all right. You don't get size penalties on this. You roll
Internal
athletics.
fight,
Just
internal
athletics.
fight.
11.
11. And-
+5 for me, so and 8.
Wow!
So
Teamwork!
After all
Anwar
that,
rushes up and taking the little guy as you know, you take it for granted the fact that you can easily overpower this thing. As Bolt gets forward, your attention's gone a little bit, and then you feel an elbow right to the nuts, and it's just enough to kind of put you off, and like you're kind of knocked a bit breathless and backed away from her. She is, for all intents and purposes, she is now free of the grapple, and Cobalt and Anwar between you and her.
I have no idea if you could tell that I was in the midst of letting go willingly.
This
But,
was
I
a
I
lot
could
right
not.
away, so I will say they did not notice
That's
this.
fine. In that case, I pull my shield out as well, getting prepared for combat, and then just sit and move back towards one of the sides of the cavern, cave, whatever we're standing in. Just like getting ready, like keeping my eye on the situation. Kind of, basically, I'm stalking off in a huff.
Well, as you do this, Flint moves with you, and as you sit down, he says, "Keep your weapons open if you wish, but if you want to rest, I can take the rest of your watch."
As in the rest of my watch, as in my watch wasn't over.
Your
So
watch wasn't open, no.
So I'll say, no, I will still do my part, keeping track of the vermin that are accumulating in our midst.
Aye. Well, I'm awake now, so I hope you won't take offence if I keep you company. And he sits down nearby.
Piece of advice, Skris. You wanted your own safety? Next time, try truth and loyalty, not lies and deceit.
How
You
about
try
next
anything
ti-
one more
How about
time.
next time, Renlin? You don't say she's not casting the alarm spell, and she's just not casting a spell instead.
Oh, what do you
Why
know?
cr-
As long
why
as we
so
have people
distrustful?
watching on the situation, I'm going to get some rest.
We have an easily triggered paladin. Please do not set him off.
I actually,
Exactly.
I probably would be saying this, like, you know how easily aggravated Kamar is.
You know how he gets.
You know how easy it is to upset the guy, and you said
I
that.
mean, out of character, if Kamara just stabbed her over this, I'd have been completely fine with it. Just to throw that out there.
I mean,
What do you think I was
I
counting
know
down
you
to
would.
this time?
For what it's worth, as Renna disappears to Ben, Anwar and Cobalt are stood near her, she turns to you and says, I thank you. Apologies again for the deception. I do not know you, though, and I had hoped that should you believe me to be protected by some defensive wards, it may make my night's sleep a little safer, should you prove not to be who you seem to be.
I just kind of sigh and say, while deception isn't the best way, you certainly weren't going to cause us any harm, it seemed, so it is not an issue as far as I'm concerned. You were only looking after yourself, after all.
Unfortunately, my grasp of people is not as strong as that of my companions, so I do not always make the correct choices.
I love how out of character
around people.
Out of character, she's like, "Oh no, I'm friendly. Really, I'm friendly." Starts by deceiving us and has every intention of delivering us to a mind flayer.
What? No, she's never said she wants to take you there.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. That's all I'm saying.
No, I have every intention of delivering us to a mind flayer.
Also, if the mind flayer gets a hold of me, he's gonna starve.
It's
So what are you worried about?
It's reminding me of the stick scene where it's like, this is what the mind flayer sees. It's got all the characters in a row, and like a burger on it is his head, a turkey is his head, a milkshake is his head, and then it gets to the bard who's intelligent, and it's like a diet cupcake, like a diet asparagus or something. It's like
diet asparagus.
Diet asparagus.
Diet celery.
Diet celery, the best diet. Diet stick.
It's like a bowl of salad, I think, if I remember right. It's like
okay. Right, change of plans. Alarm spell specifically to be triggered when if either Renlin or Kamar approach.
All right.
And only then.
Fair enough.
Okay, our character, what's your logic here? I'd love to know.
I don't trust you.
Okay, that's fair.
I was gonna say.
It's like, I just feel like I'm more trustworthy than this new person.
No,
so much for having a fan base.
You'd think that, except for the fact that you keep trying to attack people. You try to attack me. You wanted to attack me when I first joined the group. You wanted to attack this other person.
It's clearly how I say hello.
He's also only known you for like 3 or 4 days at this point.
That's
to be
right.
fair,
Not judging.
I've known him a little longer. I still trust her more.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like,
it's how I say hello, guys.
Us.
Some people wave. Some people use handshakes. I stab you.
I think it is literally at this point. At this point, if you'd have attacked her, I would have been on her side.
Yeah,
everyone was on her side. I don't know why,
except for Renlin and.
I was on her side for a while till she lied to my face.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, because she was trying to keep herself alive. Like,
by lying to us.
She didn't trust you not to try to kill her.
This is the thing, though. I mean, like, trying to get into her head here. She's basically like, oh, well, fortunately we have this guy who knows all about spells. Let me try and cast my fake spell, even though he'll know that I'm actually, like, casting nothing. How's he going to feel?
As she said, she's not good around people.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
bear in mind,
like, not every character is going to have a flawless sense of logic, unfortunately. Like, people will make mistakes. That's what makes them, I was going to say human, but it makes them sentient. Sentience doesn't come with omnipotence. As well,
she did say she didn't trust us. Like, yeah, she didn't know the alarm spell, but she wanted us to think she knew it, so we wouldn't try and hurt her.
Or that she'd put some other defense down.
Yeah, but I specifically said, like, I would know what she was casting. Like, whether that was true or not, obviously that's up to her. But...
Exactly. She had to take for granted that you were lying, or that you weren't as smart as you were making yourself out to be.
Well, that one's a given.
I would also argue, worst case, oh no, you realise I'm writing gibberish.
Yeah. Like, if you did know, the chances were that you were going to know that she wasn't doing anything hostile. Unfortunately, what she didn't take into account for was you saying that and then triggering the paladin. Anyway, as opposed to discussing the events.
So, after all that, yeah, Matt just did a alarm spell against us two specifically.
Is anybody else wanting to do anything before you all bed down for the rest of the night?
How many watches are there left after what's...
There is about half. Well, at this point, there's about half an hour for Kamar. Although you've all been awake, so you probably want to lengthen your rest in order to get the full night's sleep. So about an hour left, hour and a half left of Kamar's, and then there is just Cabolt's watch, which is the second half of the night.
Yeah, because I normally watch for 4 hours, don't I?
Yes.
So yeah.
Although you do realise that, bearing in mind that you guys have had about 2 hours sleep before she arrived, she'll probably need a bit more sleep than you guys. So if you're willing to kind of wait the extra time, she'll need another 2 hours or so.
I mean, I'm happy to
That's
wait
on you
myself.
guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose to not mention this to our
Yeah.
That's fair.
party.
Well, in that case, you all kind of go to sleep eventually. Kamar, I'm guessing that when your watch does come to an end, you do just go to sleep.
I do, yeah.
Flint follows suit. You notice that during the watch, he's kind of like you spend the night kind of untrustingly watching her. Flint, not so untrusting, but still kind of with purpose. It spends the night partially watching the entrance and partially watching you, as if he's basically daddying you to make sure you don't do anything the party will regret during the night.
I will pretty much do the same. I'll position myself between her and Kamar
Yeah.
during
then-
my watch.
The rest of the night passes peacefully, however, and eventually you all do wake up. Skris is still asleep. As you all awake, do you, as a group, like set off immediately, or do you just wait the extra few hours for?
Hold up. Assuming that Kobold and Flint are sort of there because I can kind of trust them not to be stupid.
Flint is taking advantage of the lane so far, and since nobody has kind of awoken him, he is still asleep. And you
Okay.
can hear the sound of soaring logs.
Well,
I'll actually let him sleep.
I'll say Kobold's here, and I trust Kobold at least.
If Flint's still sleeping, I'm okay with that.
And I'm going to, assuming that Eldif is planning on hunting for foodstuffs on account of we need to eat, I shall join her.
She nods and says, "That seems wise." She kind of looks at Flint and then at Skris a little pointedly, and kind of looks back at you and says, "Perhaps a couple of hours to stock up on our supplies would not be a bad idea."
Exactly.
And she and you disappear back into the large cavern that you had explored, or that you had traveled through the previous day, to see if you can find some fungus or something else that you might actually be able to make a meal out of. About 2 hours pass. Anwar and Eldif get back just previous to this, as Skris and Flint, who to this point has been pretty much, has been asleep the entire time as well. Skris awakens and gets up, and almost instantly Flint's snoring stops, and he also kind of lets out a yawn, almost a bit too exaggerated, as if it's not quite the the fresh, only just woken up yawn that he's trying to make it out to be. Skris stands and approaches. Kobold's still there, so you'll be the nearest. She approaches you and says, "I thank you for the watch over me for the night. It is definitely easier to sleep when you feel you're protected down here. Should you meet any of my companions, let them know that you aided that you offered aid to me, and they will offer aid in return. We survived down here by a barter of favors, so to speak. And she reaches down and takes a green scale from her dress and passes it to you and says, "This will be proof that you have aided me."
Thank you very much.
She nods.
I shall keep an eye out for them.
They are an interesting bunch. I'm sure, should you meet, you will have many intriguing conversations. And with that, she kind of smiles at you. Says,
After she says that, I'll also just say, just quickly before you leave, I believe you did mention you could point in the direction of Grackleston.
"Oh, yes, in fact, do you have any paper?"
Do we have any paper?
Was this before
That's a good
or
question. I
after
don't
we
think we
got
do.
back?
Actually,
Well, I've got my
That's
book
what
for a
I'm saying.
start.
Did you say this was before or after we got back?
This is after you've got. This
In
is
that
after
case-
you've got back.
In that case, yes, I do.
Yeah,
And
so I was going to say Anwar does definitely have paper.
I hand her a one of the scroll cases, which currently has a blank scroll in it and some drawing tools.
She takes this stuff, and over the course of the next 20 minutes or so, in very fine writing, just covers the entire sheet of this parchment. And upon passing it to you, you realize that this is basically a Google Maps style route, along the lines of second tunnel on right, fifth tunnel down slope on left. Like, it is that style of thing, like quite literally from here all the way to Gracklester. And she did this in over the course of 20 minutes, which is a ridiculously short amount of time for such an intensive amount of directions.
Says who wants to turn left at the 8th Drow Corpse?
There is a few things in these directions that do, as you read through it, they kind of pique your interest, to say the least. For example, there is a bit where it says, cross the lava bridge, or pass directly through the crystal cavern. These kinds of things, like very straight to the point kind of directions, like is very dead face kind of deadpan, I guess, kind of directions in that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just like straight to the point.
Just cross the lava bridge, no troubles.
Yeah, exactly. It's that kind of thing. Like, she's put down things that would make you kind of like do a double take, and she's done it with no hesitation whatsoever, as if it's like, just normal.
Like, you've seen these things, right? Yeah, totally.
I'll say thank you, Skris.
We didn't expect the actual bridge to be made of lava. It's like, yeah, what we expected.
I'd say thank you, Skris. Let's hope there's at least honesty in this.
I will say she does. She does stop and then says, this bit, and she points at a bit where she's actually crossed out a couple of lines. She says, make sure not to follow those directions. Instead, follow the ones below. I had forgotten about Yognu when I wrote those that original few lines. They would take you into the territory that I last, heard of his presence being in. He has likely moved from there now, but still, I would not want to be in his footsteps.
Oh. I'll take a look. What kind of area has she crossed him out, saying that he was in there before?
This immediately makes me quite wary.
The actual area it's in, it doesn't really mention anything specific. It is mostly just, again, second tunnel on the left, third tunnel on the right, that kind of thing. There's no huge landmark in that area.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, if he was in like a particular area with a particular description, like, or particular, I don't know, fungus, just for want of thinking of something that maybe, like, we might bump into him in another area that had a particular type of fungus in it, for example.
As far as you can tell, like, she's only been specific in certain areas, just so you know that you're passing through the right area, so to speak. She does say, and make sure you follow these instructions to the letter. One missed turn will make the rest of the instructions null, and it would be very difficult to find your way back onto the route should you lose your way.
Are there actually any landmarks listed on the directions?
There are. Again, there's the lava bridge, there's the crystal cavern, there's a buttload of ones on there as well.
I mean more specifically for my guiding hand spell. I don't know if they are specific enough necessarily.
She says there is, but should you approach these landmarks from a route not on the instructions, then the instructions would be error.
This is more of a last resort.
As a last resort, should you have a spell to guide you to a location, surely that spell would be best placed towards Gracklester.
Perhaps, but if we get to your map, we can at least attempt to correct and get back on the course you've set us.
I would, unless you have somebody with knowledge of the route beforehand, then I would not suggest trying to rejoin the route after you have left it. It would simply lead to much confusion. And I apologize, but I really must leave. I have taken far too long already. My companions must know of what is occurring.
I
Very
make
well.
sure that I keep watch of her the entire way until she leaves.
With that, unless somebody else says anything to her, she smiles, and you see her, without saying anything, she just kind of closes her eyes and concentrates, and then just isn't there anymore.
Can I
Like,
knowledge
it's like a blink and she's gone.
as to exactly what spell she's cast?
You can make an Arcana check. Anybody who's proficient in this can make a check.
I am quite interested in that as well, actually.
I mean, I guess I'm assuming it's teleportation.
I'm not going to bother.
Well,
Yeah,
she's not
like-
said or done anything. She just sort of closed her eyes.
That is actually
So
quite
yes,
unusual.
14.
Renlin, you feel you must have missed the hand gestures, or she spoke too quietly. You don't recognize this spell at all. Anwar, you recognize that this is not so much a spell as an innate ability. It would seem, as you didn't see her move her hands at all. You didn't see her speak anything. Like, she required no component for this. So either she is a much more skilled spellcaster than she agreed to made herself come across as, or it's an innate ability.
Cool.
So, yes, as the troglodyte disappears from view, the rest of you are left in that cavern, thinking of the strange night that you've just had. And with that, considering it's 25 to 10, we're not going to have time to do any other encounters this session.
Okay.
So this might just be a good place. I know it's been an incredibly short session today, but unfortunately, life will get in the way sometimes.
Yeah. Shall we just say that we decide to set off and then leave it there?
Well,
Because I mean, we've got time if anyone wants to do anything right now.
If anyone wants to do anything in the campsite, that is, you are correct. If
Not particularly.
No, because
so-
I'm wanting to head off straight
Nothing
away.
nothing else I can think of at the moment.
in that case, we'll leave it there. And everything's disappeared.
Very well. Oh, come on!
It had to go.
Yes.
You suck.
Thank you. Yeah, so for what it's worth, just to keep people in the loop, Matt is working the next 2 weeks and then away for Christmas the 2 weeks after that.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume there's at least 1 week where all of us are away for Christmas anyway.
My availability is going to be spotty around Christmas at best. So
Right.
I'm
So,
actually available for all Fridays, so it's really...
I could probably make it, but it'll be difficult.
I will be away 22nd and 29th. Like, I don't know if I
yes.
might be able to get on. I'm not certain on that. I
I'll be
should
coming
back.
back up on the 29th, but I won't be here until quite late.
Well, 29th is probably the one that I would... yeah, 29th is the one that I will be away for. 8th, 15th, and 22nd, I'm technically going to be here. So if there's the other 3 of you, like if we've got 3 people, that's enough to run the session.
Like I could probably still play at least. The only thing is, as far as visiting over Christmas, so she gets here on the 16th, which is a Saturday. So at least I can do the 15th.
Yeah, we
And
should be
then-
able to do the next couple of weeks, I'd say, and then
For the
it's a bit
viewers'
sketchy
sake, then
after
at the
that.
very least, we should be here for the next 2 weeks with any luck.
Yeah, I would say
I'm sure
probably
we'll
not
all
the
keep
23rd.
updated with our Twitter and such anyhow, like Twitter, Facebook, so on and so forth.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'll still be here, and I'll still be doing my streams while she's here. So, I mean, I probably will be available, but I can't guarantee it. That's all I'm saying.
Either way, we'll definitely be on next week at the very least, and probably the week after.
Yeah, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you then.
Goodbye.
Well,
All right.
Okay.
I know it literally just says like the stream is starting shortly, but yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and as you said, we'll be on next week. As for the next stream will be on the 4th on Monday, and it'll be Killing Floor 2 as usual, 8 PM GMT. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.